My name is Daniel Simpson, the artist behind the brand Element Pottery, and I make handmade pottery and ceramics. I started making pottery probably about 4 or 5 years ago during a class I took in college. Really fell in love with the whole process of making it, and it's just grown from there. What inspires me the most is probably the local creatures and the natures around Delaware, like horseshoe crabs, seahorses, and starfish. The reason behind the name Element Pottery is because the process of the work that the clay goes through. You start off with a raw material, earth, and then you add water to make the clay more moldable into the shape that you want. And then when it dries by the air, you can trim it, and then you add fire to make the glaze really mature through the piece. First, we're going to start off with stoneware clay, and then you're going to add water to it and have the piece centered. You have to constantly add water throughout the process because the clay absorbs moisture, so it's important to keep your piece nice and wet so you can mold it throughout the whole process. After the piece is centered, you'll start by opening up the piece, which is the beginning of the mouth of the pot. The throwing process is the act of spinning the pottery on the wheel, pulling the walls up, and making the piece. It's one of the first steps you do. Once the piece is open enough, you put your hands on the inside and one on the outside. Start pinching together and slowly pulling the piece up. After you've pulled a few times and you're happy with the result of the height of the pot, you can start adding the shape, which is just differing pressures on the inside and the outside. But one of the things I like about pottery is that the clay seems to have a mind of its own. You can have a vision for it to be one thing, like a bowl or a plate, and it could turn out to be a mug or a saucer or a pitcher. The clay kind of decides and you're just along for the ride. One of the nice things about pottery is if you do make a mistake, you can simply cut off what you don't want and start back over with a new piece. My favorite part of the process is definitely throwing, because you get to see the instant results, and it's really a relationship between you and the clay. It's not dependent on any other person or any other tools. For anyone else wanting to get into pottery or ceramics, my advice is really just to focus on the enjoyment of the process. Ceramics isn't a instant gratification. It sometimes takes about a month before you start a piece till you get the finished product. So really enjoying the whole process and learning through it can really be beneficial.